America's newest Supreme Court expert, Christine O'Donnell, is bragging about her cozy relationship with Fox News freedom fighter Sean Hannity. O'Donnell is, well, she's whining because the establishment in the Republican Party just isn't supporting her. You think? Howard Feynman of Huffington Post reports that O'Donnell told a group of Washington insiders, quote, "I've got Sean Hannity in my back pocket, and I can go on his show and raise money by attacking you guys." Here's an example of her doing just that.
We're going to start having a very aggressive campaign to let people know what that's about. And that's why I'm glad that I can talk to your listeners and ask for their support. Ask us, we need to raise another $1 million in order to take out the ads and do the mailings we need to do what the NRSC refuses to do.
O'Donnell and her buddies in the Tea Party have used Hannity like an ATM machine, no doubt about it. Sharon Angle makes withdrawals from the bank of Hannity whenever she needs to pay for another attack ad against Harry Reid. This is what she said about mentioning her This is what she did as mentioning her website on his show.
When I said it on Sean Hannity's television show, we made $40,000 before we even got out of the studio in New York. It was just...
Tea Party candidates have a platform on Fox whenever they want it. Guys like Hannity and Beck push the crazy Tea Party ideas for hours, day after day. Now, I'm just going to keep hammering on this. These are the people who fundamentally want to change America, in our opinion, for the worse. Tea Party candidates, this is what they want to do, and don't forget it. They want to abolish minimum wage. They want to eliminate unemployment benefits across the board. They want to phase out Social Security and privatize it. They want to repeal the health care bill, which is going to save lives. Let's undo the 14th Amendment, and now the new one is abolish public education. I mean, these people are nuts. All of these crazy ideas are going to make their way to Washington unless Democrats turn out to vote big time. The Tea Party is within striking distance of making a major dent in both houses of the Congress. Look at the numbers. New York Times is reporting that the Tea Party candidates are winning or close in 33 House races, and 8 Senate seats are up for grabs. And that's how tight it is. If these radicals get in power, it's going to grind Washington to an absolute halt. There's no way the Republican Party is going to want to reach out across the aisle to work with President Obama when the Tea Party comes to town. I mean, millions of Americans need unemployment benefits. What about the food stamp program they want to eliminate? The government needs to get money into the hands of small businesses and repair the crumbling education system. Well, the Republican Tea Party will put a stop to all of that, and more seats will even embolden them more. Now, Fox News and the Tea Party and the Republicans, folks, they are all one in the same. They are on a mission to make President Obama fail and America fail. Base Democrats are the only people who can stop this crowd. 18 days from now, the choice couldn't be any more clear. Either this country will go back to the 1800s or lean forward into the 21st century. Let's get your cell phones out tonight, folks. I want to know what you think about this. Tonight's text survey question is, do you think the Tea Party has any good ideas for America? Text A for yes, text B for no to 622-639. We'll bring you the results later on in the show. Joining me now is Florida Congressman Alan Grayson, who is undoubtedly the progressive warrior and is also targeted by the conservatives and, of course, a lot of corporations. Money is flowing in against you, Alan. How are you combating this? How is it going? You're outgunned. You're a national target because you're so outspoken. And now that Fox is an unabashed money machine for the Republican Party, what's the future hold for progressives?
Well, we're fighting back. We're fighting back the same way that we always do, with the help of good-minded people and by telling the truth. But it is true. My opponent bragged that when he went on Fox News a couple of weeks ago, he raised $100,000. He was very proud of that. And he's using it like an ATM, just like O'Donnell is, just like Sharon Angle is. That's her angle. To try to be able to put together the money that she needs for a campaign. But I look at these people and I say to myself, it's like seeing a bad movie all over again. Because I think we had a Tea Party president for 8 years. Think about it. You know, the same sort of beady eyes, the same sort of vacant look. And where did that leave us? Did we have to elect the same kind of people over and over again who end up trying to destroy the country?
Congressman, do you think that this is just the way it's going to be for election cycles to come, that there's really no way that the progressive movement in this country and the wage earners of America are going to be able to keep up with this money? And now, of course, the foreign money that's coming in with the Chamber of Commerce. I mean, it doesn't bode well, does it?
It's hard. We've had almost $2 million spent in our campaign against us by these outside special interests, these mostly anonymous special interests. We've pieced together that it's the insurance companies, the oil companies, David Koch's money, the Chamber of Commerce, foreign money. We've pieced it together, but they don't even have a disclosure requirement. And believe it or not, Ed, according to Politico newspaper from a week ago, 20% of all of the money that's been spent by these outside right-wing forces in the entire country has been spent against me. And I can't believe it myself. I mean, I'm a first-term Democrat. I don't sit on the Appropriations Committee. I'm not a member of leadership. And they are really, really out to get me. But luckily for us, we've had people come to our website, congressmanwithguts.com. Over 80,000 contributions so far. 80,000 people have contributed to our campaign. So we have the ability to fight back. But they tried to pick me off. They tried to pick off all the people like Carol Shea Porter, like Tom Perriello, people with a conscience. And they destroy us with these negative ads, these blistering, evil negative ads. And in front of my children on my TV set, they called me a liar. They called me a loudmouth. They've said that I'm a national embarrassment. And this is their idea of constructive dialogue.
Well, you know, Congressman, I think you answered your question why they're coming after you. They're afraid of your guts. They're afraid of the way you speak up for the people and the way you go right after it. Because you've had success in life. You don't have to have this job in the Congress. You speak for the people. And I think you got them really afraid. This is an ad that you took out against your opponent, Mr. Webster, with his record in the state Senate in Florida. Here it is.
I'm Congressman Alan Grayson, and I approve this message.
Got up this morning and I hopped into my car. But Daniel Webster's taking things a bit too far. Webster tried to sell our roads to sheiks in the Middle East. Got up this morning, paid out all the tolls. Paid out all the tolls. Paid out all the tolls. Hey, yeah!
Congressman, what is the message there? You're going right to the money, but it has somewhat of a Sopranos theme. Is that over the top? What do you think?
The message is that my opponent has been a tool of special interests for the past 28 years, a career politician who never met a toll he didn't like. When he was in office, he cut taxes on the rich and imposed toll after toll and property tax after property tax increase and sales tax after sales tax increase on ordinary people. And that's what that ad is all about. But it has nothing to do, Ed, with me versus him anymore. It's now me versus the special interests. They couldn't buy me, and now they're trying to destroy me.
Congressman, great to have you with us tonight. Thanks for speaking up as always. Alan Grayson from Florida here on The Ed Show. For more, let's bring in Eric Boehlert, Senior Fellow Media Matters for America. Well, I guess it's open season on the cable shows. I know that we have restrictions on what we can do here at MSNBC. Over at Fox across the street, it's a totally different story. Is this the way it's going to be, Eric?
Oh, this is the way it's going to be. Fox News is now essentially a PAC. They're a political action committee. They just happen to be a PAC that programs a cable channel. They've made no doubt about it. And look at the news today at the News Corp's annual shareholder meeting in New York City. Rupert Murdoch was grilled by investors asking why is a public company writing obviously partisan $1 million checks to the Republican Party, to the Chamber of Commerce. What's in it for investors? This is a public company. They're supposed to be, making money for investors. And Murdoch, frankly, didn't have a very good answer. Although he said those donations were for the best interest of America. Now, imagine for a second if a public company like the Washington Post or the New York Times was writing $1 million checks to the Democratic Party or to MoveOn.org. I mean, heads would literally be exploding on Fox News, but they don't have any rules. They're running as a PAC. It's sort of a turnkey operation, and they're now taking on the Republican Party in terms of who's picking candidates and who's in charge.
And, Eric, there's no legal ground here. There's no, they're perfectly legal in the way they're putting candidates on and just blatantly asking for money and then giving the donations of the checks that you just saw.
Yeah, and it goes even more than that. I mean, look who's on the payroll: Gingrich, Palin, Santorum, Huckabee. I mean, most of the people who are running for president in 2012 are cashing checks on a regular basis from Fox News. So we've never seen that. We've never seen a quote-unquote news organization writing $1 million checks to partisan organizations, and we've never seen them parade the candidates across for fundraising like this.
And, of course, in the last several weeks, a lot of anchors on this show, on this network, have done the story about the Chamber of Commerce allegedly using foreign money on these attack ads. And so what they do is they line up and they get their talent across the street to defend and then try to raise money, which they did. Here's Beck forking out some bucks for the Chamber of Commerce. Here it is.
I want you to go to glennbeck.com. Where is it? Donate to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. I would like to have this the largest day of fundraising for the Chamber of Commerce ever. I am donating $10,000 to the Chamber of Commerce now.
Now, Eric, the bigger picture here, this goes off into radio where he's allegedly on 400 stations.
Right.
Is this a misuse of the airways? I mean, all those radio stations have got to be licensed in the public's interest, and here he is raising money for the Chamber of Commerce, which is running political ads against Democrats. I mean, what the hell's going on here?
It's a nice operation, isn't it? I mean, if a journalist ever calls Glenn Beck a populist again, they should retire. I mean, this is a guy who literally worships at the altar of big business. He's having on-air pledges, fundraisers for the Chamber of Commerce because AT&T and Verizon and IBM don't have a loud enough, voice in Washington. I mean, for Glenn Beck and this media operation to now be urging people to spend their hard-earned money and send it back to their employers, back to corporate America, every day brings an amazing revelation. And the fact that Fox and their employers are fundraising for the Chamber of Commerce, of all people, it's just amazing. And they're writing $1 million checks to Chamber of Commerce, of course.
It's absolutely nuts. And I'm glad that you brought up the fact that they've got some political operatives who work in the political arena that have run for office and are thinking about running for office, because the Republicans wouldn't even let me think about running for Senate in North Dakota.
That's right.
And they were all over MSNBC, and I had to disavow it right away. It's a circus.